In order to determine the thickness of my box, I put some sample pieces up to give myself an idea of what it's going to look like. This is the piece that I'm currently working with, and as you can see, it's way too big. I could potentially cut this in half and use two pieces out of that. Here's another size that I think is probably where I want to go with it. I think that's just a little bit too thin, and this for sure is too thin. Remember that this piece is going to have a bevel that comes down into the receiver. So I'm going to experiment a little bit. We're going to see what we end up with. The thickness of the piece that we chose to look the best is 3/4 inches. And here's the wood that I've decided to go with. It's a little bit high on the profile, which is no problem because I have to plane this down anyway. But you'll see it's got some pretty beautiful pattern in it. For the top, I think once it's stained, it'll really pop out. So I'm gonna have to cut this down to size. And since we are going with an inside cut of 16 7/8, and our thickness of our piece is 3/4, I had to add 3/4 on each of these ends. So the length of this board, instead of 16 7/8, will now be added 1.5 inches to start to cut out the length of the boards that we need to go across. So this piece is pretty rough. You can see it's got a bow in it over here. It's got a rough face to it, but I'm not worried about any of that right now. I want to get it down to smaller pieces, and then I'll shape the board once I have it in a more manageable length. There are also split ends on the end. So before I can start to measure, I have to clean this up and cut this off to get a nice edge on this so we can start to measure our distance.